Today we're going to show you how to do the one-leg wall squat. This exercise is great for people who need one-legged stability, especially trying to build up the VMO muscle and the gluteus medius muscle. We're trying to hold the pelvis and the knee in line when you're on one leg. It's great for people who are doing sport that requires landing on one leg, or runners who land on one leg all the time. So we're going to use the ball, and I'm going to show you how to do this, what to not do, and what position you need to be in with each part of the exercise. So to start with this exercise, you've got to have the ball just snug down on the outside of that inside leg. And your feet need to be really parallel. Don't lean into the ball. At the same time, don't push too far away from the ball. So try and start off nice and parallel with a little bit of pressure on that ball. What you then need to do is think about putting all the weight on the outside leg. Now you can put a bit of weight on the wall to try and do that. Put all the weight down through the heel more than the toe, and just bend the inside knee. Okay? So from that point, then we need to try and stay upright on the outside leg. Now, most people tend to lean into the ball as soon as they let go. What I need you to do is try and push into the ball with that knee so you stay upright. You can feel that starting to work already. Now from there, what we want to try and do is do a one-legged squat. So in this position, we're going to sit backwards and bend the knee, and then push straight back up. So, tips to watch out for. When you stand on one leg, make sure the ball doesn't move when you squat. So what I mean is, if you squat and the ball starts rolling down, it means that your pelvis is going to tilt, okay? And that's not going to do any good work for here. So you've really got to try and imagine that your knees are bolted together, if you like, and they stay even. So when you squat, it's with both hips, but the left one's doing most of the work, or the outside leg in this case. Alright, so make sure you don't drop down. The other thing you need to make sure is you don't lean that knee inward, so it's got to stay directly over the toe. So let's try that again. So keeping the knees together, squatting and bending the knee, coming back up, trying to keep that ball as still as possible. And then you'll really feel that gluteus medius and gluteus maximus work really hard. The next thing I want you to work on is making sure when you're doing the squat, you keep a really neutral spine, your core, head and core stays on, as well as keeping a neutral spine in the neck. A lot of people tend to, when they squat, stick their head forward, or arch their lower back, or round their lower back. So what you've got to try and do is make sure that this part, this midsection stays very stable, and so most of the work happens at the hip. So when you squat, you're not arching your back and doing a back extension, you're trying to actually keep this neutral, and when you sit backwards, all the bending is coming from the hip joint and the knee joint. Okay, and you get the maximum out of that leg movement. At the same time, trying to keep that head in a line. So imagine a long straight column of your spine, and most of the work happens from the lower legs. The second tip I want you to work on, if you've got knee pain or you've got an acute patellofemoral injury here, what you can do with this exercise is regress it a little bit. So what I mean is, when you squat, you don't let your knee come forward. So when you squat backwards, it's just happening at the hips, and my knee doesn't come forward. At the same time, what you got to make sure of is people don't just push their knee forward to try and do the squat. The movement comes from the hips and the knee, but if you've got a little bit of knee pain, just the hips and back again. To regress that even further, what you can do is just do the level 1, which is just standing on the left leg and trying to hold it there as an isometric or static hold for a count of 10 seconds, building up to 20, building up to 30 seconds per repetition. Okay, so last tip on this exercise is the more you push into the ball, the harder it's going to be. So think of the ball as your weight. So not putting axial load through your body, but putting a horizontal resistance. So the more I push into that ball, the more I have to really stabilise through this leg and the harder that band works. Okay, so if you want to increase the exercise, as you squat, just push really hard through there and keep the pressure on, and that'll make you work really hard through that outside leg and a little bit on the inside leg as well.